Hi guys, welcome to an owner's review, initial review of the Ninja 1000 SX, the 2020 model. Look, it's just a quick review to try and touch on some of the things that aren't mentioned by press releases or spec sheets because there doesn't seem to be much information on the bike. As a disclaimer, I'm a VFR owner and all I've ridden is VFRs. Well, as in, I have ridden other bikes, but only as, fun rides. I've owned the VFR. So I don't really know much about this bike. I've had it for one day. So this is just a quick initial review. And it's just to give you information that's not really known or out there that you might find interesting. I'm going to skip all the stuff that's been on the press releases, and I'm also going to be intentionally overly critical about this bike. Not to put it down, I bought it so I must like it, but just so there's some information for you to sift through and find what you think is relevant to your riding needs. And I'm going to skip over everything else that you're already aware of, which of course is the cruise control, the new screen, the slipper clutch, and the quick shifter. However, I will touch on the quick shifter. It is turned off by default. You have to go into the menu, and which is done by holding down the select key, and you've got to work your way through there, which is pretty easy to do to actually turn it on. I suggest leaving it off for the braking period because you're not supposed to be within the rev range of using it anyway. You can turn it on after that. There's still no centre stand, but I'm not going to get into that one. I've been told the tyres that come with the bike are OEM and that they're not as good or don't last as long as if you buy the same tyres afterwards. I don't know if this is true or not, but if you're planning on doing some spirited riding straight up, maybe just check to see if that's the case. Bringing it home, I noticed a small buzz at 4,000 RPM, but I didn't notice that until about 30 minutes on the bike. So it's obviously not much big enough for you to actually pick up on straight away. What it's going to be like after 6 hours of riding, I don't know. I've heard that older versions of the Ninja were more of an issue and people are wondering if it's been fixed here or not. I apologise, I can't tell you because I really don't have much experience with the previous models. So you're going to need to hear from somebody else regarding that. There's also a curious hum when I turn on the ignition, which is on at the moment. I'll get the camera in here. Hopefully the mic picked that up. I'm guessing that's got something to do with the lean indicator. It's a gyro or something similar for that. Handling is better than what I recall riding the 2019 demo. I remember with 2019 when I first jumped on the bike, it was sort of like, oh, it's truth, I don't like this at low speeds at all. It didn't feel natural to me. Obviously it's different to the VFR. This one felt more natural, this one felt a lot better. So I'd say that they have fixed that up. People talk about having to put a 55 rear tyre on the back instead of the standard 50. I got no idea about that. Check some forums out, hopefully that will help. The grey is a lot lighter than I expected it to be. So with the pictures, most of the pictures you see are from the side, and you see a lot of the black that's there, which makes the bike look black with just that grey bit on the side. And I actually thought some of the grey, as you can see now, that's not two-tone in there. That's actually one colour, it's just the way the light falls on it that makes it look two-tone. But at the front of the bike, it is quite grey, it's not black. Obviously not much of an issue, but I just thought I'd put it out there for people who have bought this bike sight unseen, like I did. The green strips obviously look great. If you don't like them, I found out, they're just stickers. You could peel them off. So, yeah, if it doesn't suit your fancy, there you go. Now your Givey tank lock bag, for those who have it, I thought you couldn't mount it because there's no holes here. But apparently, and I haven't done this yet, I haven't even filled it up, apparently if you go underneath there are bolts and you can get a special mounting kit designed for this, and it's supposed to be the same as the Versys, according to people online. The heated grips, love them and aren't impressed with them at the same time. Oh, whoops, it's actually turned on, I better turn that off. Okay, so what I like about them is that they're nice, they're compact. It's got the one button here for turning it on, turning it off. I come from Oxford's where you have to have a separate panel to turn them on and off. But they don't integrate with the rest of the motorbike and the rest of the motorbike's controls. You can't see on the dash whether they're turned on or off. You've got to look at this light to see whether they're turned on or off. They operate by pressing it and it'll flash how many times. So that's on 3 power settings. If I press it again, it'll flash twice. If I press it once, there's one flash. Press it again to turn it off. So I don't think they were worth the aftermarket value because They've really got nothing to do with Kawasaki at all. They're aftermarket, they don't integrate with the bike. But I've got them now, so I might as well keep them instead of getting aftermarket, but just be aware of that. There's no need to get these, there's nothing special about them. The phone Bluetooths to the bikers, you're probably already aware. It does not have turn-by-turn GPS integration or anything else like that. So while you can use the Rideology app to do what you want to do with the bike, it's not necessarily going to take away the need for you to have a separate GPS mount or RAM mount or something like that, so you can see your phone screen for GPS navigation and so forth. Reading the manual, I was concerned that the bike wouldn't stop when I put the side stand down and the bike was still in gear. I thought it would only stop after I released the clutch. I've only ridden this once, but I did notice that it stopped when I put the side stand down. Why that may or may not be an issue, have a look in the comments, in the description, and yeah, I won't waste your time here. There's a spongy gear shifter. So I've noticed I'm in first gear. If I push down, there's still give there. I'm used to the bike actually giving me tactile feedback that you're in first gear, coming from an older VFR, but that's something I'll get used to. I just found it interesting. That's it. I hope this hasn't been a waste of your time, guys. I just wanted to go over very quickly different points that haven't been mentioned before. I do like this bike. I'm expecting to get a lot out of it. There's no point in me saying much else at the moment because I really haven't ridden it, and it wouldn't be fair to give it a rider's review at this stage. It's just an initial, first impression on the last 24 hours and what I've noticed. Hope it helps. Cheers.